Hey guys, what's going on? I know it's been a while and haven't really streamed or haven't posted anything in a while, and I just kind of want to talk about it because I'm just kind of in a weird headspace right now. So, despite how high I was on Street Fighter 6, and as much as I was loving playing it, after 200 hours, that's how much time I have in this game altogether. I'm already very bored of it, and I have a few gripes, and I have a few balance gripes. I think the game's balance is like way better than a lot of other modern fighting games have been on launch. But um, let's see. I just kind of wanted to make a video to let people know why I haven't been uploading content or anything, and it's because honestly, uh, that's where I'm at. The game is really boring. I don't want to play it anymore. I'm so bored to the point where I don't even know if I'm gonna touch this game anymore until there's like a new patch. So maybe not for a year or almost a year. But I do want to talk about what it is about the game currently that kind of has me like very disinterested in playing anymore. Um, so it felt like to me when this game first came out and we were grinding it that because of all these complex system mechanics that everyone universally had access to and the way that characters were kitted out or seemed like they were kitted out that this is going to be a game that had a lot of depth to it. And unfortunately, now I'm feeling like after 200 hours, and now that the game has been figured out more or less, I don't think the game is that deep, to be honest. Um, the game is just nothing but strike, throw, or shimmy, throw, parry, RPS. At the end of the day, and it's nothing but slow fireball drive rush or just yellow drive rush and the long reaching button into frame trap into strike shimmy parry RPS. And I have to be honest, it's really boring to me. Um, I don't feel like there's anything like, and I guess this is a point where I just might differ from some people, is that yes, I like the mind game aspect of fighting games and getting better at that kind of stuff. But at a certain point, though, I still need to have like mechanical intensity, and I still need to have like knowledge uh, depth involved. I don't feel like this game has a lot of knowledge depth, and I just don't feel like once you figure out your character, unless you're playing someone who is a little more to them, like JP or like Chun Li, I just don't think any character is that interesting in this game right now. Um, like to the point where I will admit I cannot play at my best right now in this game because I am so bored. I don't know if anyone has ever had this problem where you can be so bored and so tired of a game already to the point where you are just incapable of being fully invested and that you just kind of get tilted because you can't be fully invested and on point because the game's not interesting enough to you to keep doing that. And that is pretty much where I'm at. Like, it isn't even interesting for me to fire up training mode in this game anymore. And honestly, I don't even know if you need to fire up training mode in this game anymore after a certain point because of what it's kind of turned into at this point. So, I do want to talk about some things I really don't like about the game that after 200 hours have really grated on me now. Um, like, I am absolutely sick of these things now. I didn't mind these things and was okay with them for like the first 150 hours, but the last of those 200 hours, the last 50 hours have been a real slog for me and just kind of irritating. So, the first thing I really don't like about this game right now is throw loops. I just feel like this is so brain dead, and I don't feel like there's enough depth around this situation to warrant them existing. So, here's the thing. Um, so there are people who will tell you that delay tech beats a lot of these kind of things. Um, so like, let's see, let's set a delay tech here for wake up reversal. So we're gonna say like, so delay tech is I would call around 3 frame delay. So this way, let's also set the dummy to block after the first hit. So, let's throw. Hold on. Wait, make sure this is working correctly. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, as you'll see here, if I do this, so this option selects supposedly both strike and throw, but I don't think it really does. And the reason for that is because all they have to do is like delay their timing by a frame, and it results in kind of feeling scrambly to me, because then what you end up with is just kind of RPS, just like really fast, obnoxious, low damage return RPS. So like, okay, so let's say I throw you in a corner. So if I wanted to beat this delay take situation, I would have to do this, right? Or like something like this with DJ. Hold on. Something like this, right? But that's the problem. I kind of dislike it that every single character in this game just does throw into frame kill into strike throw shimmy, and I just find it boring. Like, if there were characters that they were better or worse at this, or there were some characters that just didn't get this at all, I would find the game more interesting because there would be more variance amongst what I was playing against, right? But that just doesn't happen in this game, in my opinion. And so I just get kind of tired of playing this game. And the other thing that I really don't think I like about this game is, as a result, and because of how strong the throw shimmy parry trifecta is in the corner, it just kind of feels like all you do in this game is use your DR conversions to get someone into the corner, and then you just run that mix. I feel like that's what everybody in this game does, except maybe Chun-Li. She has to, there's like an added layer to what Chun-Li has to do because she doesn't have a throw loop. And I think that's more interesting than what the majority of characters in this game are currently doing. So I don't know. I'm very conflicted about how I feel about this because, like, I do really like this game, and in principle, I really like this game, but now it just already feels solved, and it's not very interesting now that it's solved. Because everything in this game feels like it boils down to that. Even mid-screen, it feels like everything is just knocked down into drive rush, into meaty throw shimmy. Same thing. It's just the same trifecta. And I don't know how to explain this because, like, the problem, I suppose, maybe it might come with the limits of 2D games, And let me explain. So, I come from 3D games originally. That was what my first love was. So, Tekken, Soul Calibur, and Virtua Fighter. And the thing is, those games do not have situations that are as pre-canned as what I'm describing in this game. Um, like in Virtua Fighter, um, okay. So in Street Fighter, I would say that basically this game has a problem where it's just an ABC game. Meaning that's all it is. It's a rotation between A, B, or C. And you make reads based on what you think they're going to do. They're going to do A, B, or C. And in 3D games, there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And A, B, C, D, E, F, G has like very specific counters to each other that you have to know, that you have to be prepared for. And there's just like more you have to learn. Like you have to be more of a student of the game, and that's what I really like, is when a game requires you to be a student of it. And I presently I don't feel like this game is that kind of game. So it just ends up being kind of boring. Another thing that I really don't like, and I'm kind of done with, I have to admit, even though I abuse it because I'm a DJ player, I'm kind of tired of raw DR into button. It makes the neutral really boring and uninteresting, to the point where it's just reminding me of like playing MKX and dealing with the run button. Except this is better than the run button because you're always plus when you get blocked. I don't know what to do about that. Obviously, I think that punish counter should apply to getting hit during a raw DR every single time. Another thing that I don't like is that I don't like it that throws do not just get blown the fuck up when they get jumped inherently. I haven't labbed it for sure, but it feels like that characters have different throw recoveries in this game. I don't know if that's true. If somebody wants to fact check me on that, you can let me know. But I kind of feel like at all, because of the RPS, if you make the read on neutral jumping a throw, I feel like you should always get a full max damage jumping combo. And another thing that I guess I don't like too is back to talking about the ABC shit, is that I don't feel like perfect parry, or parry is rewarding enough for the risk that you put yourself up to for getting punish counter thrown. I just don't think it's worth it. Like, I know that, like, we all know that grand final set that Kakarot played, where he had crazy, consistent perfect parry reads. But my question is this: did he even really need those parries to win? Or was he just like in a flow state and he was flexing? Because I personally think the problem is the damage never outweighs the risk. It never outweighs the risk. And I think that's kind of bad, personally. I'm not saying that perfect parry should give you like max damage or anything like that, but I don't know, man. I at least feel like they should be do like 30% more damage or something. So like as of right now, let me yeah, okay. So let me get the dummy hero block real quick. So try to get this. Okay. I get 14% for that kind of read. And the problem is a punish counter throw is always going to do 20%. No bar, hard knockdown, and my reward for a perfect parry is like 10 to 14% and that's it. And it's usually not worth it to spend resources to increase the damage. Like the most, let's see if I can get this again. The most I might get out of this would be like 20% for 3 bars, plus the perfect parry attempt. Like, I just don't think that's very good. And it's kind of the same problem with like flawless blocking in MK11, where I talked about like how obviously there were problems with flawless blocking being too good and too readily available in MK11, but the other problem was that the bigger read, which was the flawless block up 2, just did not get you enough damage, in my opinion, for the kind of read you were making. I never thought it did. And I feel the same way here. I don't feel like you're rewarded enough for how much of a read this is. So these things ultimately just kind of have me frustrated and getting tilted with the game, while I also am finding it extremely boring and not stimulating at all. And I'm kind of curious what anyone who watches this video might be also thinking of it, but like, honestly, I think the game is just too basic. I know that sounds crazy, but I think that's what it is for me. I don't think this game is keeping my attention because it is too basic. And it's too much down to the mental stack. And I'm really getting tired of games where it's all about the mental stack. Because at a certain point, the mental stack, if it's emphasized too much, it no longer becomes about the actual intelligence and game knowledge of the two players playing each other. And I'm really tired of fighting games doing this right now. I don't think it's interesting at all. And also, I really am tired of games punishing you for blocking, basically. I'm in the school of thought that blocking in this game is pretty awful, and you should almost never do it. You should do almost anything else but block. And that also comes from the fact that, like, I'm used to in 3D games, once again, where I come from, blocking is not, like, the worst idea. And you can win and you can do just fine by just passively playing defense and blocking, which may not net you the biggest reward, but you cannot be eventually forced to just take damage because you want to block. Which is, it's kind of a trend in modern games anyway, but I feel like in this game, it kind of is that. If you start blocking, you are going to take damage eventually. It's just impossible. Obviously, I'm not saying that you should be able to just sit there and block and do nothing. But that's why throws exist. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what could be done to this game to rekindle my interest in it. But at this point, I'm honestly at the point where I just kind of don't know if I'm going to touch this game until it gets patched. And I see what they decide to do with it from here. But I have to be honest, I'm amazed that people are still playing this every day. I hate it that I find the game so boring now, but currently it's a snooze fest for me. And because of the way the game works, it would not do anything for me to learn a new character, because every character is basically playing the same game. The only way this changes is if you're playing a command grab character, and then there's like one more layer to it all. But I find the game really boring right now. And DJ, to be fair, I love DJ in this game, but he is a brain dead character, and he's also kind of boring in of himself to play, but I don't think any character in this game is interesting enough for me to dig into. That's kind of what I'm hoping Akuma will be when he gets added to the game eventually. But anyway, that's what I want to say. I wanted to update people because I was really intent on like coming back and really digging into this game, but I'm already very bored of it, and I don't know what to do about that. So at this point, it kind of leaves a couple of things left for me at the moment, and that is that um, I said I would learn Guilty Gear Strive if Biken and Johnny both got added. They're both now in the game, so I might try to learn Strive now for real. I kind of want to learn King of Fighters for real. I've always wanted to get into King of Fighters. It's just always been kind of intimidating. Maybe I'll do that. And I'm going to admit I caved and I pre-ordered and I'll be playing MK1 during the early access period. Because I do think the MK1 does kind of look like it might actually be a game that sticks with me like Injustice 2 did. Like, there'll be enough interesting stuff about it to keep me invested. And also, you know, it is kind of, even though it's not really my roots, as far as my public image, it is kind of my roots. Like, I kind of got to go back, right? I'm kind of obligated almost. So I'm going to make a video soon on my thoughts about MK1 and the way it looks so far. I have not gotten to play in any of the betas, unfortunately. I wish I could have, but I didn't get a chance to play any of those. And so I'm going to be going in blind except what I've watched. And I'll make a video soon talking about that. But that's my current feelings about Street Fighter 6. That's why there hasn't been any streams or any content added to the channel. On top of the fact my life is just not going the best right now. I'm like struggling in just about every way. And so it makes it even more like I want to play a game that's competitive and boring. You know, like I feel like right now, when I boot up Armored Core 6, I make more decisions per second in the PvP of that game than I do in this game right now. Yeah, maybe that's just like the ADHD autism brain, but like it's not going fast enough for me and there's not enough to it. But I am curious if anyone else is feeling this way. I think this is just a thing that's like a part of how I am. I absorb games, the depth of games very quickly. So the game really has to have a lot of complexity in every aspect of it for me to stay invested. And unfortunately, I just don't think this game has it for me. So, I mean, I'm sorry about that because I really did want to get back into content creation and streaming, and like I just don't care enough to do that. And if I were to stream, honestly, I would not be able to provide you guys an entertaining stream because I'm just not invested. So anyway, I'm curious if any of you guys feel the same way about this game at this point. I want to know how you guys are feeling about the game in general, whether or not you do still love it, or whether or not you're kind of where I'm at, or if you just never liked it from the beginning. I am curious, because it does seem like, as I'm watching Twitter, that opinions on this game kind of seem to be souring just across the board a little bit. It's kind of gotten into this, yeah, the game has things about it that suck, and yeah, the game kind of has some issues, but you just have to deal with it. And, like, that's not exactly a high morale situation to be in for a game. But anyway, hope you enjoyed listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys with MK1 for sure, but you may see me with Strive or KOF if I actually decide to take the plunge and do those two things. So, anyway, catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.